he was the greatest. And I'm not just saying because he's my brother, he was the greatest.
The first time I ever seen big garlic king prawns in the shells was Laurie ordered it in the restaurant, and I thought, what's that? And he had these king prawns, and I remember saying to him, oh, that looks great, can I try one? And he peeled it for me.
Laurie Cunningham, the genius who danced through football and history. There was something ethereal about the way Laurie Cunningham moved, both on and off the pitch. Whether weaving through defenders with his signature grace or gliding across a dance floor, Cunningham had a natural elegance that set him apart from the moment he arrived on the football scene. His story is both a celebration of boundless talent and a reflection on what might have been, a career marked by extraordinary highs, profound lows, and ultimately a tragic end.
When I was playing football on the estate, he was the one I was trying to be like.
Cunningham's journey began in the streets and discos of South London, where his love for movement was first born. He wasn't just another kid kicking a ball around, he was a performer at heart. Before football, it was dancing that captivated him, and it would be this sense of rhythm and fluidity that later became his hallmark on the pitch. Growing up in a time when racial prejudice was rife, Cunningham learned early on how to navigate adversity with dignity, eventually becoming one of the most important figures in the fight against racism in English football. By the time Cunningham signed with West Bromwich Albion in 1977, he had already made a name for himself with Leyton Orient. It was at West Brom, under manager Ron Atkinson, that Cunningham formed part of the famous 3 Degrees trio alongside Cyril Regis and Brendan Batson. The 3 black players stood out not only for their immense talent, but for their courage in breaking down racial barriers in a sport still riddled with abuse. In a time when black players were few and racial slurs were common from both the stands and opposition players, Cunningham played with a fearlessness that transcended the moment.
The legend of Laurie on the pitch, the tricks and the jinx that he was capable of doing, and the way he approached life and the way he approached his football, I think, intertwined.
His flair was obvious, but it wasn't just his daring that caught the eye. Cunningham's speed was otherworldly. He would glide past defenders with long, sweeping strides, using his body's natural flow to unbalance opponents. He was more than just a winger, he was an artist who painted with his feet. By 1978, Laurie Cunningham had become a key figure in English football, helping West Brom to European qualification and drawing the attention of football's biggest clubs. That attention reached its peak on the 6th of December 1978, when Cunningham delivered one of the defining performances of his career. West Brom, facing Spanish giants Valencia in the UEFA Cup, were underdogs. Yet Cunningham, with his electric pace and dribbling, tore through the Valencia defence, leaving their star, Mario Kempes, overshadowed. It was this display that caught the eye of Real Madrid, watching from afar, and set the stage for the next great chapter in Cunningham's career. In the summer of 1979, Laurie Cunningham made history by becoming the first British player to sign for Real Madrid. The Spanish capital welcomed him as a symbol of change, both for his skill and what he represented, a black player breaking barriers in one of football's most storied and conservative clubs. Madrid didn't just sign Cunningham for his talent, they believed he could lead them back to European dominance. Cunningham's debut season at Madrid was nothing short of sensational. His speed, flair and vision were on full display as he quickly became a fan favourite. In his first La Liga match, he scored twice against Valencia, continuing his dominance over the Spanish side. 2 weeks later, he added another goal against Barcelona in one of football's fiercest rivalries. But it was his performance at the Camp Nou that cemented his status as a legend. On the 9th of February 1980, Cunningham delivered a display so breathtaking that even the Barcelona fans, notorious for their hostility toward Real Madrid, stood up to applaud him. This moment of mutual respect was more than just a rare gesture. It was a recognition of Cunningham's extraordinary ability to entertain and inspire, regardless of team loyalties.
I can't remember Laurie raising his voice. I can't remember him being abusive on the pitch. Everything was quite quiet about him. But when he had the ball at his feet, that's when you saw Laurie Cunningham come alive, and it was a joy to watch.
By the end of his first season, Cunningham had helped Real Madrid to a La Liga title and a Copa del Rey victory. His speed and creativity had made him a key figure in Madrid's attack, and for a time, it seemed as though he was destined for even greater things. But as is so often the case in football, fortune can be fickle. As brilliant as his debut season had been, the years that followed were marked by frustration. Cunningham suffered a series of injuries that began with a broken toe in his second season, followed by knee problems that robbed him of his greatest asset, his speed. To make matters worse, the Madrid press, once adoring, began to question his commitment. Stories of Cunningham frequenting nightclubs during his recovery were splashed across the tabloids, framing him as a playboy uninterested in fulfilling his potential. In truth, Cunningham's love for dancing remained a simple expression of joy, not a lack of professionalism. But in the high-pressure environment of Real Madrid, perception is often reality. Cunningham's relationship with the Spanish media deteriorated further, and the injuries took a psychological toll. Although he played in the 1981 European Cup final against Liverpool, he was a shadow of his former self. Real Madrid lost the match, and with it, Cunningham's time at the Bernabeu came to an unceremonious end. Over the next few years, Cunningham's career became a journey of failed comebacks. He spent time on loan at Manchester United and later Sporting Gijón, but the spark that had made him one of the most feared players in Europe seemed to fade. By the mid-1980s, Cunningham's career had become nomadic. He had stints at clubs across Europe, including a return to Madrid with Rayo Vallecano, where he briefly recaptured his form and helped the club win promotion. It was during this period that Cunningham finally seemed to find peace, enjoying his football once more in a city that had been both his paradise and prison. Tragically, Cunningham's life was cut short in 1989 when he died in a car accident outside Madrid at the age of 33. His death shocked the football world and left fans wondering what might have been. Laurie Cunningham's story is one of fleeting brilliance, a player whose genius lit up stadiums but was too often dimmed by injury and circumstance. Yet, his legacy remains profound. As the first black player to sign for Real Madrid and one of the pioneers in English football, Cunningham helped break down the barriers that held back so many players of colour. He may not have achieved the enduring superstardom that his early career promised, but for those who saw him play, Laurie Cunningham was unforgettable. He was more than a footballer, he was a symbol of grace, of courage, and of the fleeting nature of genius. Laurie Cunningham danced through football as he had through life, leaving behind memories of brilliance and moments that will live forever in the minds of those lucky enough to witness them.